Do you think Russia could invade Ukraine, as President Biden said yesterday he expects?
I do not think Russia will invade Ukraine. And I hope that my belief is correct. I think we do not need to have a dramatic situation in that region that would have, of course, terrible consequences. And I strongly hope that de-escalation and dialogue will allow for a solution, avoiding the kind of confrontation that would have inevitably terrible consequences.
Allowed to go to secondary schools. The Taliban always say that they need to create the conditions for.
Let's separate things. One thing is the Taliban, the other thing is the Afghan people. And we cannot have a collective punishment of the Afghan people for wrong things that are done by the Taliban. So it is absolutely essential in the present situation to massively increase humanitarian assistance to the Afghans, because the Afghans are in a desperate situation, with the risks of death by hunger, with the risks of death by disease, with the winter, that you can imagine the winter in Afghanistan, with the COVID. I mean, it's a desperate situation. More than half of the population is in desperate need of humanitarian aid, and this needs to be provided.
Any situation in the world where it is very important to have information, and that information to be circulating.
We have in Africa 10% of the population vaccinated. In my country we are above 90%. I mean, the developed countries have really hoarded vaccines and not allowed for an effective distribution to the poorest areas in the world, where the consequences are more devastating.
Relates to the independence of the World Health Organization, but I always said that we need to strengthen the authority of the World Health Organization, namely in relation.
Where I'm concentrating most of my efforts is to have a cessation of hostilities, to stop the fighting, to stop the bombardments, to freeze the situation. Until now, both sides were considering that that would not be acceptable without a certain number of conditions. I hope that we are in a situation in which it might become soon possible to have a cessation of hostilities, and that is where I'm concentrating most of my efforts.
The countries that have been put in charge were together